Aula S99 versus Aula F99. And the real question is whether the mechanical one is worth paying almost twice as much for. The S99 is membrane, so it's softer and quieter, while the F99 gives you real switches you can swap out and a much bigger battery, though that only matters if you'll actually use it. Spend more than you need, and it's wasted money. Go too basic, and the typing feel might bug you every day. By the end, you'll know which one fits you. Let's break it down. So let's start with the thing you'll notice every single hour you use it, which is how these actually feel and sound under your fingers. The S99 is membrane, and that word scares people off, but the way owners describe it is soft, cushioned, and creamy rather than mushy. It's not silent, though. Plenty of buyers point out it has a thocky, muffled sound that's thicker than you'd expect from a membrane board. So if you were buying it for a quiet shared office, adjust your expectations. The F99, on the other hand, gives you real mechanical switches, pre-lubed and linear, sitting on a gasket structure with 5 layers of sound damping inside the case. That's what kills the hollow ping you get from cheap mechanicals. And there's one owner of the F99 whose description stuck with me. The sound is so creamy. It reminds me of marbles or smooth stones, and it's honestly fun to type on. It sounded great right out of the box, without me changing anything. The catch on the F99 is that the stock switches are light and louder than some people bargained for. Owners mention accidental key presses while they adapt, and a few say it's too loud for a shared space. So on pure typing pleasure, the F99 is ahead, but the S99 is the gentler one on your fingers. That difference is baked in for one, and fixable for the other. The F99 is hot swappable, which means you can pull the switches out with the included puller and drop new ones in, no soldering. The PBT keycaps come off just as easily. That's the whole appeal for anyone who thinks they might get into this hobby, because you can change the sound and the feel later without buying another keyboard. The S99, meanwhile, is membrane and does not support hot swapping, full stop. What you buy is what you keep. If swapping switches is on your list at all, this one's out. Both give you Bluetooth, 2.4 GHz wireless, and USB-C wired, and both let you jump between devices with a key combo. Battery is where the gap opens up, because the S99 runs a 2000 mAh cell while the F99 packs 8000. That's 4 times the capacity, and owners back it up with one saying they charge it about once a month. The S99 will have you reaching for the cable a lot more often, and one buyer mentioned it gives you battery warnings but drops out the moment you unplug it. On the F99 side, a common gripe is there's no low power warning at all, so it just dies on you. Neither is flawless here, but the F99 buys you far more time between charges. On mode switching, some S99 owners report the indicator lights flashing and the board refusing to reconnect after an accidental key combination, usually fixed by repairing. That's the kind of thing that interrupts a workday. For actual work and gaming, look, both are fine for the average person. The S99 is responsive enough that owners describe it as almost too sensitive at first, with the odd double letter until you get used to it, and people do use it for fast competitive matches without lag. The F99 gives you N-key rollover, so every simultaneous press registers, which matters if you're mashing multiple keys in a shooter. Both support macros on paper, but I wouldn't buy either one for that. The S99 software gets criticized for being slow and awkward, and the F99's is arguably worse, with reports of confusing menus, remapping that doesn't stick, and boards going unresponsive after a firmware update. If macros are central to how you play, neither of these is the safe pick. Layout-wise, they're basically twins, both 99 keys and a 96% design that keeps the number pad while cutting the width, and both have a folding stand to adjust the angle. Some owners miss dedicated keys like print screen on the S99 since the top row gets compressed. RGB is customizable on both, though the F99's legends don't shine through, so in a dark room you're lighting the deck, not the letters. One S99 owner had backlighting that never worked at all and got nowhere with support, which reads like a one-off unit rather than a pattern. On build, the F99 is the heavier, more solid one, sitting around 1.1 kilos with PBT keycaps that won't fade, though independent testers did find some deck flex and plenty of plastic. The S99 weighs about 750 grams and feels sturdier than its price suggests, according to buyers, which brings us to the money. The F99 costs quite a bit more, and that gap buys you mechanical, hot swappable switches, the gasket build with sound damping, PBT keycaps, 4 times the battery, and pullers in the box. The S99 covers the basics, giving you the same layout, the same 3 connection modes, RGB, and a knob for a lot less, with a softer, quieter feel as a bonus. What you don't get with the cheaper one is any upgrade path, and its long-term reliability is less certain, since a small number of owners report connection or key failures after a few months. Here's the call. For most people watching this, I'd take the F99 because the switches you can swap, the padded gasket build, and a battery that lasts weeks instead of days are the things you feel every day. And that's what makes the higher price make sense to me. That said, if you type in a bedroom or a shared office and quiet matters more than typing pleasure, the softer membrane on the S99 does that job better. And if you just need a solid keyboard with a number pad and you're never touching a switch puller, the cheaper one covers you fine. Only skip the S99 if you think you'll want to upgrade later, because that door stays shut. And you, which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Links below in the description.